Babe of the day. Babe of the day. Scarlett Johansson. Okay, Black Widow. I know she's done other stuff before and after Black Widow, but for me, that's her best role. It's definitely her most iconic, and for good reason. Black Widow is one cool lady. I am a lifelong comic book reader, and I was very familiar with Black Widow long before she was put into movies. Unlike most superhero actors, I actually thought Scarlett fit the part of Black Widow right away. In comics, Black Widow was one of those characters that had always been around, but she was not a star player by any means. Thanks to Scarlett's portrayal in the Marvel movies, Black Widow became one of the best known and most marketed superheroes in the bunch. Scarlett started as a child actress. Her film debut was a small role in the family fantasy comedy called North in 1994. I remember when this came out. It had a good bit of promotion, but totally bombed. It didn't hold back Scarlett at all, and she got a lot of work right from the start. Her next role was as the daughter of Sean Connery in the awesome action thriller Just Cause from 1995. Scarlett's first starring role was in the 1996 dramedy Manny and Lowe. It didn't do very well, and it's not that well remembered, even in retrospect. She definitely went on to bigger and better things. She had a notable part in Home Alone 3 from 1997 as the older sister of the main character. I actually liked this movie, and it was a financial success, but a lot of people like to tear this movie up because it was a standalone movie from the first two films. It had a good cast and story. The movie that really got Scarlett noticed, in a big way, was The Horse Whisperer in 1998. It was a hit and highly talked about, especially since it was based on a popular book. Scarlett's character was central to the film's plot. She played the handicapped daughter of the female lead, played by Kristen Scott Thomas. Scarlett and her horse were severely injured in an accident. Her mom calls in the Horse Whisperer, played by Robert Redford, to help the horse recover and, in turn, help Scarlett feel better. Despite that success, Scarlett didn't become an instant household name. She still did a lot of smaller movies for a while. In 1999, she was in a little-known family movie called My Brother the Pig. It reunited her with the star of Home Alone 3, Alex D. Linz, and also had some other name actors, like Judge Reinhold and Eva Mendes, but it did zip. Her biggest movie, after The Horse Whisperer but before 2003, was the monster comedy Eight-Legged Freaks from 2002, and even that wasn't that successful. The one thing that did come from this pre-fame period is the fact that Scarlett worked with a lot of great actors. She held her own in good company, even if a lot of the movies fell flat. The film that really broke Scarlett out was Lost in Translation in 2003. When this came out, you heard about it everywhere, and Scarlett was really touted as the biggest new actress, even though she had been around for nearly a decade. It was a romantic comedy drama that starred Bill Murray, with Scarlett being his unlikely leading lady. After this movie, Scarlett was a name for sure, but her presence in a movie still didn't guarantee its success. She was in a string of movies that just didn't do well, or had a "it had its moments" kind of reaction. Her next big movie success was the SpongeBob SquarePants movie in 2004. She played the voice of Princess Mindy, and was far from a lead. It's fair to say that she wasn't the primary reason that the movie was a hit. People just like SpongeBob. However, she did have an actual hit, with her playing the leading part in the 2004 romantic comedy In Good Company. It's not a movie that you hear a lot of people talk about today, but it was still a success. It also featured her future Avengers co-star Clark Gregg. Clark played Phil Coulson, the high-ranking agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. who went on to star in the long-running TV series Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Then Scarlett had 3 more successful films in a row, including Match Point, The Island, and Scoop. The Island from 2005 is significant. It was really her first sci-fi action film. Up until then, everything she was doing was a comedy or drama. Action movies with a sci-fi touch sort of became Scarlett's thing later on. That was her genre. Through 2008, she had some more successful movies with only a few commercial failures. Ironically, one of her failures became better known than many of her other films after 2003 due to the fact that it bombed so terribly and earned its infamy. The movie I'm talking about is The Spirit from 2008. Well, what can I say about this stinker? First of all, I like the Spirit character from the comics. He's a very old character and cool, and he deserved a better movie treatment than this. This movie was hot, stinky garbage. I looked forward to seeing it. When I finally watched it, I was pretty upset. This had nothing to do with The Spirit. What a slap in the face to the fans. The best performance in the film actually came from Dan Lauria, who played the police commissioner. Scarlett played the henchwoman of the movie's major villain, played by Samuel L. Jackson. Ironically, they would later work together in the Marvel movies in about the same capacity, but on the side of Law and Order. She was Black Widow, and he was Nick Fury. The Spirit was a pretty trash movie, but Scarlett was building up street cred for being in offbeat adventure films. She was in the successful ensemble cast comedy He's Just Not That Into You in 2009, but it was her next movie that would help move her from star status to superstar status. Scarlett played Black Widow for the first time in Iron Man 2. Released in 2010, this was a highly anticipated sequel. The movie was a mega hit, packed with amazing action sequences. Scarlett was also quite cool as the Black Widow. She dyed her hair red for the part, a really good color for her. The way she played Black Widow reminds you of the classic spy babes like Diana Rigg as Emma Peel. I do believe, though, that Black Widow was a bit more brutal. She hits and kicks like she means it, but she's not a mean-spirited person. Black Widow is definitely a heroine, and not an anti-heroine. She never really got away from the comedy and drama films, but from here on, the Black Widow was her main thing. For 11 years, she played the famous superheroine in 9 films. She went on to play the character in The Avengers, Captain America the Winter Soldier, Avengers Age of Ultron, Captain America Civil War, Avengers Infinity War, Captain Marvel, Avengers Endgame, and Black Widow. Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson, as Iron Man and Black Widow, made the Marvel movies. Everyone played their part, but these two were it. I thought it was extremely stupid when both of them were killed off in Avengers Endgame. It was even dumber when they created Black Widow as a flashback movie. People may argue with me on this point, but Marvel was an unstoppable movie machine until they killed off Iron Man and Black Widow. We all know how good things aren't going right now. Since Endgame, Marvel's suckiness never ceases to amaze. Certainly because of her Black Widow role, Scarlett was able to play other superwomen in movies like Lucy in 2014 and Ghost in the Shell in 2017. The first was a huge hit. The second, not as much. Scarlett's been on TV, but it's never been that much of a thing for her. Her biggest thing on TV is being the host of Saturday Night Live 6 times and in 11 episodes overall. In 2021, Scarlett had a pretty big falling out with Marvel's owner, Disney. The release of her movie Black Widow was put off quite a while because of the whole COVID thing. When the movie was finally released in theaters, it was also simultaneously released on the Disney Plus streaming service. It was a stupid thing for Disney to do, and it definitely hurt the movie's commercial success. How could it not? The movie still made some money, but obviously not the money they really wanted. She hit Disney with a lawsuit, and it was later settled. The terms of it aren't 100% known to the public, but it seems her relationship with Disney will forever be strained. You can't blame her. Scarlett still works, but hasn't been in anything lately that's as high profile as the Marvel movies. She was married to Ryan Reynolds from 2008 to 11. She's been married twice since then. Her current husband, beginning in 2020, is Saturday Night Live writer Colin Jost. She had a daughter with her second husband and a son with her third. I really admire Scarlett Johansson for the career she built for herself. She takes it seriously and, fortunately, didn't fall victim to all the negative things that happen in show business. Scarlett is stable. Knowing that she actually has some of the qualities of the heroine she plays qualifies her as a babe of the day, babe of the day.